Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee Ann time once again here on ON Radio. Monday morning, it's October 7th. My name's Joe Callahan. Thanks for joining us this morning.
You're welcome.
At the Coffee Ann table, there's Dave Richards right over there.
Hi there.
Hello there, Dave. Nice to have you along with us as well.
It's nice to have me along, too.
It sure is. So, comments or questions can be called in.
I
766.
don't know exactly what I'd do if I wasn't with me.
1240-766-1240. So, you know what I did over the weekend, Dave?
No, I don't, and I figure you're going to tell us.
It was the annual taking the air conditioners out of the windows.
Oh, yeah. We did that 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, I waited a little longer. I realized, okay, we haven't used them in a while, so time to take them out. And so you can tell I've done it by just looking at my fingers. I had 3 fingers bleeding.
No kidding. How did that happen, Joe?
Those coils are just sharp.
Oh, but you're not supposed to pick them up by
grab
that.
it by the back. Well, it was either that or have it fall out the window.
I see.
So it's like, a quick grab. Oh, it's moving. Quick, grab it. And just grab it any way you want, any way you can. Ow. Like,
oh, my.
Yeah. So
I always grab them from the bottom,
Little
Joe.
slices on the...
Yeah, I always grab them from the bottom.
Well, it's like, you grab the window. No, you grab you hang on to the air conditioner, and I'm going to move the window up.
Uh-huh.
Make sure it doesn't fall out of the window.
Okay.
And my wife is struggling holding it because that's what she finds easier to do. I mean, both jobs are kind of difficult.
Oh gosh.
Hold it straight. Oh no, it's going. So you quick grab it and then pull it in. It's like ow. Yep. I'm gonna need a Band-Aid for that one. So,
oh my.
But we did get them out of the window, so we're all set until next spring when it seems putting them in isn't as an issue as taking them out of the windows.
Oh.
So
really?
So yeah. Well, for me it is. So there you go. So that
Fabulous
was fun.
Denise always likes to help with those sorts of things, and we have it down to a science, so we have no problems.
That's good. We got it down to a history.
Okay.
That just doesn't work out so great. Anyway.
Hey, how about those Red Sox?
Well, they're looking great on the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're not playing. So the best
Former
thing,
Red Sox are doing well. They're in the playoffs.
They are still playing the playoffs down there in San Diego and L.A.
Did the playoffs start last night, or is it this week?
No, they've started.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Yankees won, I think. And
because I figured they had to get
LA
past that
won,
wild card thing first.
Yeah. So the division series are in full swing right now. Yesterday, the best thing
I get it, full swing.
Get it, full, pretty good, huh? Best thing I say about yesterday's Patriots game is that the Bruins start on Tuesday.
Yeah.
The Patriots were up 7-3 at the half.
And Swayman's in.
And I'm like, yes, he signed his huge deal and got the money he wanted. I don't know if it's exactly what he wanted, but he's getting a lot of it. $8.25 million for the next 8 years. Not bad.
Well, I'm going to see the ticket prices going down, that's for sure.
No, Jeremy's good. Jeremy Jacobs is good at raising the prices.
Yeah.
You know how much? I think I've told you. It's well over $100 to see a Bruins game. And
they figured if the Red Sox can get away with it, and it could rain. I mean, it's not going to rain on a Bruins game, so
yeah. Ticket prices for the Bruins are outrageous.
Yeah,
I don't know about the Celtics. I haven't looked to try to buy Celtics tickets in a long time. Things were okay for the Patriots yesterday. It was 7-3 at the half. I'm like, but they should have. They were giving us the game. We blocked. They missed. We blocked a punt. They missed a field goal. I said, did we take advantage of it? No. I'm like, it doesn't look good. And then they, every sport's got their crazy rules, and the NFL has one yesterday where it could have been a touchdown for the Patriots, but the rule was it's not. And the rule is Polk caught the ball in the back of the end zone. He got 1 foot in, and his second foot in, his toe got in, but his heel didn't. So, but if you drag your toe, then it's okay. But because he was flat-footed, landing, well, his toe landed first, and then his heel came down. It's considered an incomplete pass, and he's out of the end zone. I said, that is a bizarre rule. I never knew this one. If that's the rule, that's the rule. And then they didn't capitalize on it, and so we coulda, shoulda, woulda. They've won the game and didn't. So instead of being in second place, we're now stuck in last. We're at 1-4, and by the way, and I don't normally say this, season's over.
Really?
For the Patriots.
After 5
Yes.
games, you're saying
After
the
5
season's
games,
over.
that's it. Because they cannot come back from this.
Okay.
They will and make the playoffs. They were 1-4 last season, and look what happened. They went nowhere. They're 1-4 this year. We're going nowhere fast.
Okay.
So that's why I say the best thing about the Patriots game is that the Bruins start on Tuesday, and it's time to switch.
I get you.
We're switching gears, and now we're focusing in on the Bruins. Will I still watch the Patriots on the weekends? Yes. Of course, not this weekend.
Well, this weekend we're going to be a little busy.
They're a little
Joe.
busy this weekend. They do have a home game again this weekend. They play the Houston Texans. I think Houston's doing okay this year, so it looks like another loss. And so all you're going to hear all week, by the way, if you listen to that kind of stuff, is, oh, we got to play the new guy, got to play the new guy, got to play the new guy. And you're going to hear that all week. So,
Right.
And I'm sick of hearing that all week long, so I won't listen to it. So will they play the new guy? Drake May? I don't know. It's up to Gerard Mayo. We'll see how it goes. Will he do any better? I don't know.
Well, if you can't salvage the season at this point, why would you jeopardize the new guy?
Yeah. I don't know if they're thinking like that. Maybe they still think we still got a chance to turn it around. Maybe. I just don't see it. And Miami is not a very good team, and we prove we're even worse than them. So
Yeah, it's funny. I was listening to the Cheap Seats show with Kevin and Pat this past Saturday, the sports show we had.
Yeah.
And I heard Pat describe it as the toilet bowl.
Yeah. Well, they were both 1-3
Yeah.
coming in to the season, coming into the game, and yet they were both stuck in fourth place.
Mm-hmm.
But whoever won was going to vault themselves into second place because the Jets lost over there in London. And so, another incentive to win.
Right.
Right now we're in second place, behind the Buffalo Bills, and say, okay, we move forward now. And now, hey, and yelling at the TV because it always works, Dave.
Yeah, right.
On the last couple of plays of the game, with no timeouts, you got to get out of bounds to stop the clock. And did they? No. They you threw it downfield. Okay, we caught it. And who caught it? Hunter Henry caught it, I think, with 3 seconds to go. I said, but there's no timeouts. You don't have time to run up 20 yards and spike the ball and stop it. Nope. 3, 2, 1. Game's over. I was like, So bad clock management all the way around. It just wasn't fun. It was not a fun game at all. But anyway, so they'll try again next week.
Could be worse, Joe.
It could have been raining yesterday. Yeah.
Right.
All right. Other things going on. We had the report this morning. Fire in Woonsocket.
Yes.
On Sunday night on Sunset Avenue, which is off of Diamond Hill Road, up near the Woonsocket Plaza.
It's on the north side of the road, which is the same side as Lowe's and further up from Lowe's and Social Security.
Yeah.
In that little development up there, just before you get to Bound Road.
Okay. Fire crews from Woonsocket, Lincoln, Warwick. Wow. North Providence and Cumberland.
Yeah.
That's a long way to come to fight a fire.
I don't think that it's a Warwick engine. I think it's an engine that says Warwick because we bought it used.
Okay. Well, you would think.
I could be wrong about that, but I know that we have firefighting apparatus here in Woonsocket we bought from Central Falls.
Okay.
And last time I saw it drive by, it still said Central Falls on it. And I asked the chief, I said, of course, this was a little bit ago because Paul Shachar was still the chief. I asked the chief, he says, I'm saving money.
Well, yeah.
He says, it's doing the job.
Yeah.
Who cares what name it is on it?
Yeah.
Who cares what name it has on it? He says, it's going to cost me hundreds of dollars to change the name on it. He says, I'd rather have it just fight fires. Now, you couldn't argue with that thrift.
No. And if you're in your vehicle and you hear a fire truck behind you, do you care what town it says?
No.
No, they got the lights on and the sirens are going. You get out of the way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
what it says. If it's putting a fire out in your house, you don't care either.
No, not at all. So
exactly. But I think it might have fooled. I think that was like a Warwick, a secondhand acquire.
Okay.
From one of the fire departments. Could have been Woonsocket. And it still says Warwick on it. At least I'm inclined to believe that because I don't think Warwick would have sent something up here.
Even North Providence is a long drive.
Yeah, it is.
For the fire truck to get up there. I thought they had those reciprocal agreements. What about Bellingham?
Yeah.
doesn't say they were there. Do they not have those agreements anymore? Yeah, I
Yeah.
know it's state lines, but
Sure.
unless Bellingham was off taking care of something, I don't know.
It could have been, but keep in mind that some communities do not have stationed firefighters. They don't have firefighters that report whether there's a fire or not.
Okay.
Some of them are, they live their lives, and when the radio goes off, they run like the dickens over to the fire station, which is not staffed continuously. Get on their turnout gear and turn on the trucks and get moving. It does slow down the response time because cars have to, they have to get to the firehouse first before they can get started. All of that's true. But if that's all the municipality can afford, I mean, last time I saw Pascoag was like that. I remember being in school, and the janitor was a member of the volunteer fire department in Pascoag, and we heard the siren go off at recess, and
take
I
off?
saw the janitor leave the school grounds and run down to the firehouse.
Yep.
So, this when you got to get a job done and you got budget constraints, you got to get clever, and they are.
Okay. Authorities did not respond to saying if anyone was injured or what caused the
Well,
fire.
yeah.
It's just too early.
Yeah, they probably didn't
Since this
know.
happened on Sunday night.
They
So-
know now, but they're not
Yeah.
making a press release out of it.
So
yet.
we'll hear more about it today or in early tomorrow.
That's normal.
On this fire that was on Sunset Avenue in the city.
And you want to
of
know something?
Woonsocket.
If somebody was hurt, you're likely to see that report come out of the police department too.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've heard the story for the last couple of days, Dave, and Rhode Islanders they're looking for poll workers.
Yeah.
It must be around the state. Must be a thing going on. According to Miguel Nunez, the Rhode Island Board of Elections executive director, he just says it's a great opportunity to participate in the democratic process, help the community, and you do get paid, and they probably feed you too. On top of that,
Yeah. Well, I know
gotta
that
get pizza.
I know that you. I know that you get food, but I don't know if they sell it to you or if they,
Oh, no, I think
they
it's-
provide
I
it.
think it's
It's
gratis.
possible they provide it.
yeah.
I never heard whether or not you got the food for nothing or not. I know that you can't leave the property, so you eat.
Well, right.
Yeah.
So you usually someone runs out, and not to promote them, but they say, okay, first of all,
I hear also that
gotta get
certain
the Dunkin'
candidates
runs.
bring stuff by,
So
which
that-
I'm not sure if it's kosher or not, but whatever. I hear those rumors.
There's coffee and donuts usually in the morning, and then pizza comes in a little later in the afternoon to
Right.
sustain you. I don't know what happens at night because the polls stay open till what 8 o'clock.
8
That's when they
o'clock
stay
now.
open, so, okay.
Used to be 9.
So the poll workers, they come in, they set up the polling places. You greet the voters, you verify their registrations, and you pass out the ballots.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's what you do. You make sure they place it in the right machine at the end when they're done, and you pass out stickers. So you
Yeah,
pass
I
out the
voted.
stickers.
Sometimes you
Okay.
get your stickers before you vote.
Yeah,
Well, it's a matter of faith, I'm sure.
but you got to be
They
trained.
give you a ballot. They tell you
Yeah.
go fill it out over there. I figure they got to figure that you're going to vote.
Yeah. You got to have training in it, though. And,
Oh, yeah.
So poll worker
Lots of
training
rules.
continues through November 1st. Yeah. What do you do if the person shows up and they're not on the rolls? What do you do? And that kind of thing. Can you get them on the rolls? Can you get them to vote? And this is a lot of stuff you have to know. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward, I would say. I know people that have been poll workers and
Yeah,
look
me too.
forward to it every couple of years.
Yeah,
They
get a
thought it
chance
was-
to see people.
You see a lot of
Haven't
people.
seen for a while.
It's
Just like
it's-
Autumn Fest.
And they always said it's right. It is relatively easy work.
Well, yeah, it's not a lot of heavy lifting or anything.
No, it's like that. So
Those big metal machines, they haven't been used in years.
yeah, it's even easier with the paper ballots
Mm-hmm.
that we use now. So that's what's going on there. And let's see, what else is? How about that? You think you're going to prison and everything's going to be well. All right, I'll get to prison. The next thing you know, your transport van gets into an accident.
Oh, yeah.
This happened in Cranston. So a Providence Police Department prisoner transport van involved in a crash Sunday afternoon. The van had 6 prisoners in it, and it crashed shortly after 2 p.m. near the Traffic Tribunal on New London Avenue in Cranston.
Right.
Trying to just figure out where that is. Guess it's not on 95, huh?
No.
Okay.
It's off. New London Avenue, I'm trying to remember. It might be Route 2.
Oh, okay.
You've got a lot of things on Route 2 there south of the malls. And among them, you've got some rather large corporations.
Well, that's Warwick,
You've
though.
got- Yeah.
Well, this said
This
it happened in
happened-
Cranston.
Okay, really? So it'd be
Yeah.
further north. All right, fine. I guess I don't know where it is, but but that's off 295
Yeah.
is where the registry is, and I'm guessing it's in the same general vicinity. I mean, Joe, I never had to go,
Well,
so
me
I'm
neither.
not exactly sure.
Okay. We just a quick message came in
Isn't that nice? I've never had to go.
from our pal Tim.
Tim who?
Tim Draper.
Hey, Timmy.
It's near the main DMV building.
Well, didn't I say?
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
And almost made it to the ACI, right? Isn't that right?
Well,
behind
yeah,
it?
yeah. Right. Yeah, Cranston's got a lot of state stuff going on down there.
All right. It doesn't say if any other vehicles were involved. It just says that the van was in the crash. No one suffered serious injuries, which means there were some injuries.
Right.
And the van, there's minor damage to the van.
Of course.
So it makes you wonder, will they be talking to the driver? Okay. What did you
Well,
do?
yeah.
What happened? Unless, it could have been all sorts of things. Could have been a disturbance in the van.
Accidents happen.
Accidents do happen. You're right. I know. I found that out the other day when I'm just casually driving down the road and I hear thunk
Really?
right in the windshield.
Oh.
And I'm like, and I'm looking around the windshield, and I said, I don't see where the problem is. Okay, no biggie. Next morning, there it is.
Oh, a crack in the windshield?
Yep, the big impact place, and then a crack going straight up. And okay, I gotta get on that. And then the crack kept growing. I said, I really got to get on that.
Right.
Unless something bad happens. So I get on it, and so it's all set. It's all taken care of. So, and it wasn't one that came out and said, well, maybe we can just fix it. And then they came out and took a look at it and said, nope.
Don't think so.
Nope, not with that crack.
Maybe if we
take
got
this
that
out,
the
put a
first
new one in.
day when it's just a
Maybe.
ding, but once it gets to be a crack,
Yep.
forget it.
That's it. We gotta put something. We gotta put a new one in. So okay, which was good because the old one on the inside of the windshield was getting kind of dirty.
Oh,
So now I have a bright new clean windshield, so that I didn't have to wash myself.
Cool.
So hey, I'm saving time and the resources right there. All right, we're gonna take a
right.
break here on the Coffee and Program. More coming your way. You can give us a call in with comments and questions at 766-1240. Has it started to rain? Mm-hmm. Ah, fantastic.
At George's Breakfast and Lunch, 793 Harris Avenue in Woonsocket, otherwise known as George's Restaurant, you'll get a chance to see John cook up whatever it is you want. Just a plate of eggs and bacon, or a beautiful omelet made with all kinds of interesting and fresh and delightful things. Or at lunchtime, maybe you want a big bowl of chicken soup. Hearty. Oh, you'll never have another bowl of chicken soup like you get at George's, that's for sure. Or any of the tuna melts or special sandwiches or regular meal. It's up to you. At George's Breakfast and Lunch, drop on by. Now, they're not open on Tuesdays, and you got to bring cash, but George's Breakfast and Lunch will leave a lasting impression on you all the time. George's Breakfast and Lunch is at 793 Harris Avenue, Woonsocket.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
WOON Woonsocket Radio, ON AM and FM.
It is Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning on Monday, October 7th. I'm Joe Callahan, along with Dave Richards. Dave has stepped out of the studio for just a minute, but he'll be stepping back in, and then we'll continue. It looks like 600 employees of Hilton Hotels in Boston are now on strike until further notice. The unionized workers from Hilton Boston Park Plaza and the Hilton Boston Logan Airport began the strike yesterday. They will remain on the picket line until a contract is agreed upon that delivers higher wages and better work schedules. The union staged multiple three-day walkouts before launching the indefinite strike yesterday. So I thought this was taken care of, but apparently it has not been taken care of. And those employees are out on the picket line. I don't think they're going to get the kind of money that Jeremy Swayman signed for. So don't look for $8.25 million a year. That's just not going to happen. So, but they could get more money, I guess.
Well, you got to understand, they had test strikes before that.
I thought
We're going off for 3 days.
And
nothing happens. We're going off for another 3 days.
And then I thought I got settled. I guess not, huh?
Well, no, they said it was going to be a 3-day strike, and then they're back to work.
Yeah. Okay.
And so they did what they said they would do. And then there was like, I think, three-day strikes placed over several weeks. And now they said, oh, well, still no resolution? Okay, that's it. No more 3-day strike. This one's going
Indefinite.
to the mat.
Well, yeah. Okay. And they picked,
Indefinitely, yeah.
They picked up probably two big hotels there in Boston, especially the one at Logan Airport. I'm sure, which is always pretty crowded, with people flying in all the time. So, all right, we'll see what they can get accomplished. Trying to close out this strike right here. All right. What else is going on? We got a new person on the Rhode Island Ethics Commission. The governor appointed Dr. Michael Browner Jr.
Yeah.
to serve
He's a
on the
principal.
Ethics Commission down in Newport. A principal at the Frank E. Thompson Middle School in Newport. Yeah, Browner brings extensive knowledge and experience in education and administration, and a proven community leader who's actively working on behalf of Rhode Islanders. So, okay. Was there an opening on the Ethics Commission? Or do they just say,
There
okay,
would have
let's
had
add
to
one more?
been.
Let's add one more person.
No, they didn't add.
No, okay.
There would have had to be one. Otherwise, how is he going to appoint somebody
I didn't know they
to a
just said,
chair
well,
that
let's,
doesn't exist?
let's put someone else on. So,
Right.
All right. And there's a new state police colonel in Massachusetts. We knew he was
yeah.
coming.
Right.
And he did get sworn in. He's sworn in last Friday by Governor Maura Healey. So he's going to make some good money, Dave.
Yeah?
Because, he's retired from the New Jersey State Police
Okay.
in 2022. So I'm sure he gets a pension from the state of New Jersey.
Could be.
And now he comes up here and gets a job with Massachusetts. He retired as a lieutenant colonel down there in the New Jersey State Police. He most recently worked for a private security firm, and his name is John Mawn, M-A-W-N. He served as interim colonel since February when Christopher Mason retired. So he's been on the job for a while.
Okay.
So he's hits the ground running, to use a good cliche. Up and running there. So
No such thing as a new cliche, Joe. That's an oxymoron.
all right, as an old cliche,
And you know it's Ollie North's birthday today?
Oliver North,
Yep.
he's got to be in his 90s.
Nope.
No,
Guess again.
in his 80s.
There you go.
Okay, next decade down.
81.
80 is he 81?
Yep,
Okay,
81 today. TV personality and former Marine Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. He was an aide to President Reagan, way
yes.
back in the 80s, and a major figure in the Iran-Contra scandal.
I'll say he was. I think he orchestrated it.
Well, so that's the deal. Good old Ollie North is 81 today. I just saw that on our. We finally got the birthdays.
Birthdays have
today.
come in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we missed that one from
right.
from this morning.
Also, Emmy award-winning cellist Yo-Yo Ma.
I first saw him on the Tonight Show,
Yeah.
and you don't forget a name, Yo-Yo,
No.
and he was really good. I said,
Yeah.
Wow. I said, this guy's talented.
He's 69.
Wow. Okay.
And of course, Vladimir Putin.
Well, we mentioned that earlier. Yes, he's 71.
What was the scam? Was he supposed to be friends with President Trump or something or whatever? They somehow, I'm trying to remember how they hooked the two of them together. They said Putin never would have invaded Ukraine if Trump was still president.
Well, Trump always said that Putin would never have done it if he was still president.
Yeah.
So is it because they're friends? I don't know. Is it because Putin
Two wild
fears?
and crazy guys.
Yeah, maybe. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is there, of what their connection is now, what their relationship is.
So you hear what the latest thing that Trump is mouthing off about? The latest thing is
About the hurricane relief.
yeah.
Yeah, he's not happy with it.
Well, he says they give hundreds of millions of dollars to foreign governments,
Yeah.
and they give you $750 when you lose your house.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now, is he telling the truth?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's probably a statutory stipend.
Yeah. The other side,
FEMA can do.
The FEMA people are saying, no, we're allocating as much money and resources as possible.
Well, no,
So-
that's their response. That's their response to the people who said they took money out of the FEMA budget to take care of illegal aliens.
Yeah.
They drew down the budget and put the money in for taking care of illegal aliens. and they're saying that that's not true.
Okay.
Whatever. I don't know, Joe.
So it comes down
all
to
I know
who's
is
telling the truth.
my daughter's on the line again. She says, they say there's another hurricane coming.
Milton is on
Right.
its way.
Milton, not just the town in Massachusetts, friends.
That's right. And how
So-
strong can it be with the name Milton?
Uh-huh. Well, let me just tell you something. Yesterday it was a tropical storm. Tonight it's this morning when
Yeah.
we wake up, it's not only a hurricane, it's a Category 2 hurricane.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
Sustained winds over 100 miles an hour, which is going to cause a
And it
little
turns
froth up
down
in the
there
old Gulf.
In the Gulf, that's right.
And it's coming from just off the Mexican coast in the Gulf of Mexico, heading straight toward Tampa. And guess where little Nicole lives?
North of Tampa, isn't it?
St. Petersburg, right, 4 or 5 miles north of Tampa.
Oh, then she's fine.
Yeah, right. Sure. No. So we were on the line yesterday talking about it. Again, another update, and they have Milton has slowed down considerably. He is now meandering across the Gulf.
Gathering strength.
Gathering strength, exactly.
That's
right.
what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's still going to be a hurricane by the time it hits Cocoa Beach on the other side of Florida.
Now, is that what
It will still be a hurricane.
Now
It'll be a
she-
major hurricane when it hits the West Coast. It will still be a hurricane after it goes across the Florida Peninsula.
Now, when Helene came through, she evacuated because she had family members on the Atlantic Ocean side.
That's right.
Will she be doing that again this time,
Well,
or
that
is
sounds
are they
kinda silly,
just
doesn't it?
they're just going to be in the way as well?
Yes. Well, I mean, it won't be as bad on the East Coast as it would be on the West Coast.
Yeah.
She hasn't made her mind up yet. I just keep feeding her information, and she'll make up her mind. She's a smart kid, and she'll do what she has to do to take care of her life and property. So, but it's one of those things. She says it's a lot of people around here are suffering a lot, but nothing like what happened up north. And I remember
Right.
telling Denise, excuse me, when I was looking at the track of the hurricane, because everybody knows that whether it's like a hobby of mine, and I've been doing it since I was in my teens, watching it and stuff, and had pen pals like Don Kent and well, you get the idea. And working with Arthur Carteret for so many years, so I learned an awful lot about how this stuff works. And now with today's technology, you've got more data than you can even
Oh yeah.
assimilate, I should say, and it gives you ideas of what's going on. So we saw that when it was still a tropical storm, and we says, okay, this one's going to mean business again, and it's got nothing in its way between where it is and the west coast of Florida. So the likelihood is it's not going to start falling apart before it gets there. It's going to be strengthening when it gets there. If you put those two obvious facts together, you're looking at today, the forecast is for, see, with Helene, for St. Petersburg, where she lives, it was 4 to 6 inches of rain. It's 6 to 8 inches of rain right now.
Wow.
And the storm surge is not calculable yet, because storm surge is extremely localized. And you have to know within a few hundreds or dozens of miles where exactly on the coast it's going to hit. Right now, it's got a beat on Tampa Bay. And St. Petersburg is on the north side of Tampa Bay, on the little peninsula, and Tampa's on the south side of Tampa Bay. I mean, you can look across that. It's like Oakland and San Francisco, right across the bay.
Right. Okay. Well, we hope everything goes well for her.
Well,
down
we
there.
hope so too. But,
keep those
she's
fingers
got
crossed.
folks that she can hunker down with if she has to. And I'm sure that the governmental authorities will be offering her some sort of shelter.
And they've already declared disaster areas, or
Oh, yeah.
down there in
Yesterday
Florida?
morning.
DeSantis did
Actually, it was
that.
Saturday night. 35 counties in Florida, because it's going to go straight across. Excuse me,
There
I'm
she is now.
getting a phone call. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to go
think-
straight across the state.
Yeah,
so
that's right. I think I'm going to have to not answer that one there.
Okay.
But that was nice. There's somebody I called
Earlier?
is calling me back.
oh, well, then that's swell.
Isn't that nice?
Well, you can get to that because we got to take a break here on the Coffee and program.
Oh, now you tell me. I just
well,
ditched them.
Well, and bringing the weather forecast, and the weather forecast is being brought to you by Allstate. And I say by Allstate.
Showers and possibly a thunderstorm today. High of 66 and a breeze from the south. Tonight, mostly clear skies, overnight low of 46. Tuesday's weather, sunshine and 67. Wednesday, sunshine and 63. Thursday, sunshine and 60. Friday, sunny skies with a high of 64. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 72. And on Sunday of Autumn Fest, mostly sunny and 64.
Thanks, Dave. And outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, where we do have cloudy skies and we got some rain. We got some water falling out of the sky. We also have 57 degrees. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't. Because helping you get coverage you want with savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, two locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. One telephone number, 765-5000. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Lou Mandeville here to tell you the only place to get your local high school and college scores, as well as the Pats, Bruins, Celtics, and Sox, is on My Morning Sports Reports. And they are right here on ON 1240, Monday through Friday on the Morning Fun Show.
It is Coffee In on ONO Radio. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. And another sad story over the weekend. Sad when these stories pop up. This was up in Saugus, Massachusetts. I mean, not that it's right around the corner, about an hour and a half away or so. Right north of Boston, a large fight at a youth football game.
Yeah.
And is it between the kids playing
No.
football?
Oh, no,
No,
parents.
it's the parents in the
Right.
stands.
Well, the kids are getting their licks in anyway on the gridiron, right?
Well, yeah, they run into each other.
Sure, right.
So the game had to be canceled. A woman was injured during the brawl. This happened yesterday morning. It started as a fight between two parents. It ended up 6 people.
They're playing high school football on a Sunday
No,
morning.
no. This is youth. This is 6.
Oh, I see, like
6,
Redskins.
8.
Yeah, that's
10.
right. They're over here at Barry
Yeah.
on Sunday mornings, right?
That's when they play. 6 people ended up engaging in this fight, and the woman was treated at the scene for unspecified injuries. Afterwards, Saugus Youth Football and Cheer apologized to all the parents and the children impacted by the incident. I can see how these things start. I don't know why they do, but some parents get very upset once they feel that their child is getting hit more often than other kids
Right.
by the other team.
Okay.
I used to see that.
They're keeping score on the hits, right?
I used to see that in when my son played hockey.
Yeah.
And some people would get upset that my son is being hit more often
Victimized, yes.
by the other team than the other kids.
Right.
I'm like, but that's why they wear equipment.
Right.
And that's why they bounce,
They
especially
don't
young
feel.
kids bounce
They
right
don't
back
feel it,
up.
right, yeah.
And they're fine. But some parents just get very upset.
These are
and,
parents that shouldn't have kids, in
well,
my
it's
opinion.
Too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
at this
It's,
point.
but they shouldn't have kids if they're going to be like that. My goodness, how are these people going to grow up?
It doesn't say if the woman that was injured was fighting, or was she just an innocent bystander?
I don't
Someone
know.
fell on her, or something like
I
that.
don't know.
It doesn't say.
Setting a lousy example for the kids.
It does, and for the
I mean,
most
grow
part,
up, people.
For the most part, when you're playing, you're oblivious to what's going on in the stands.
Right.
Because you got to concentrate on the game.
you generally are, except you hear the din. Yeah.
Until something like this happens, and then the game stops.
Right.
And now everyone's watching.
And now I'm not playing football anymore.
And now
Gee,
I'm not
thanks,
playing football.
Mom.
And now the game's been called off.
Right.
Not even postponed, just canceled. We're just going to stop it right here, no matter where it is, and we're done. And so it's just it's a sad state of affairs. Everyone's not everyone, but a lot of parents think, little Johnny's going to get a football scholarship, and that person's ruining my son's chances of getting his football scholarship in 10 years.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. The only answer to it is no parents at the game.
Yeah.
And some people some towns have resorted to that.
Yep.
Baseball,
Although,
lacrosse, football.
If I didn't play the football, I was in the concert band, and if I had my parents in the audience, I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Really, and I recall the times when we would perform and they'd be there, and I thought that's pretty doggone cool. So I can imagine it's about the same thing if you're playing football and you have a game and you're pretty happy with what you're doing. It's nice to have the parents see you.
Absolutely. When I played hockey in my younger days and baseball too, and if I scored a goal or if I got a hit, I know my dad saw it.
Yeah.
So and that made him happy, made
It
me
means,
happy too.
Yeah, it means something to you.
So you want your parents there watching you play or be part of the game in some way, and then but sometimes it comes down to this where you got to, okay, no parents. Drop them off at this time. Come back in 2 hours and pick them up.
Yeah.
Because maybe not you, but
Yeah.
somebody, like Dave always says, doesn't behave themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody suffers. My daughter's learning that the hard way down at college.
Really? What's happening there?
Well, and I told her before she went, I said, I know this is going to happen. It happened when I went to school. It happened when your brother went to school, and the fire alarm's going to go off.
Oh,
in
gosh,
the dorm. Someone either pulls it intentionally, or they allow cooking in the dorms, and someone leaves the microwave popcorn in the microwave too long. They put it on for 10 minutes for whatever reason.
Right.
Walk away. Of course, now the popcorn catches fire.
Of course.
And the smoke comes out, and the fire alarm goes off, and then everybody's going to evacuate the building, and you got to wait for the fire department to come, and they got to make sure that's the only problem, and like that. So I said now that's going to happen. So just something to be aware of. Well, here we are. School started a little over a month ago, and it's been happening at her dorm almost every other day, and it's gotten to the point where the head of housing
Right.
has sent out an email to all the residents saying if this continues to happen and we can't figure out who's doing it because no one wants to step forward.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was me. Sorry about that. It costs money for the fire department to come out every other day
Right.
for absolutely no reason. He goes, they're going to start charging the school. Well, guess what we're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
We're turning around and charging you. So either grow up,
So there's an even better reason not to fess up.
pay attention to what you're doing, don't vandalize stuff. And my daughter's like, but that's not, back to life's not fair. That's not fair, because she's not doing it. And I said, do you know who's doing it? No, it's a large. There's 1,000 kids in this building, so no, I don't know who's doing it. I said, I don't know what to tell you on this one. I go, now they're not going to come around knocking on the door looking for cash. They just stick it onto your bill next semester, and that's just where it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
So what they're hoping is that some people talk to the people that are actually causing the problems, and tell them to cut it out. If it doesn't, everybody pays. So same thing with the parents.
Yeah.
If we can't single out who started the fight, maybe you could. Okay, no parents get to go to the games.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. Well, we have a society where some people are not at the same level of compatibility as other people.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Okay.
Maybe someone in the audience can tell me this. Some years ago, I was involved with the coverage of the big warship USS Saratoga,
Mm-hmm.
which last I saw the vessel had been decommissioned, partially deconstructed, but towed into a dock in Newport, just north of Newport. And it was on the West Passage side, and I saw it there, and there was another warship with it, and I never heard, because they really wanted to make that into a museum, a naval museum. But of course, raising money for it, is always the trick. And as far as I know, they didn't get that done. But when it was launched on October 7th, 1955, 69 years ago today, the world's most powerful warship, they said, was launched. It was the Saratoga.
Wow.
And like I say, last time I saw it, and it figured heavily in the arsenal for quite some time. So anyway, interesting. I'd be interested in knowing, does anybody know whether the Saratoga is still sitting down there waiting to be refurbished, or if they've chopped up for scrap and given up on the idea, or will it someday be a museum? Be interesting to
Wow.
know. 766-1240. If anybody has heard anything about the Saratoga, the USS Saratoga, it was launched on this day in 55.
Okay.
Thought you'd like that.
Thanks, Dave. Back to the Fighting Parents for just a second.
Oh.
This
I
is,
thought we were done.
I think
Sorry.
but I think this is why you don't hear about it that often with high school football, is because there's two sets of stands. The home team's on this
sometimes,
side, and the away team's on the other side of the
Lincoln
team.
doesn't have two sets.
the other
Well,
side-
they divide their stands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was on the other side. So
When
but
Socket does.
when soccer does
Hardly
too.
anybody came from Westerly
Come-
last Saturday.
Really surprising.
But boy, what a great spirit there was in the Woonsocket side.
Yeah. Oh, great.
It was fantastic. I mean, they really get into it, you
Yeah.
know?
But in terms of what happened in Saugus,
Yeah.
you don't play. So when you're that young, you don't play other
Right.
towns. You're all in the same town, so all the parents are all on the same side.
Yeah, okay.
And so one yells, one parent gets upset, and then that's how
yeah.
things go from there.
Well, I'll tell you what
if
I
they were on
observed-
opposite sides, that would work out a little better. But
I had the opportunity to be at Barry Field for that football game on Saturday,
Okay.
where Woonsocket won over Westerly, I think. Or did they lose?
no, Woonsocket lost.
Woonsocket, yeah, they were winning the whole game, and then they lost it at the end. That's right. But there was much rejoicing, I recall, in the stands, because being up in the press box, helping Kevin and Brendan with the equipment. We had a bad day in the equipment on Saturday. We got the game on the air, but it was on the lower quality backup circuit. Yeah, we did finish the game on the high quality stuff, but something had gone wrong with it, so I was called into action. But it gave me a chance to observe what was going on, and I'll tell you, walking around Barry Field, walking up in the grandstands over there, people would step aside and let someone else come by, because it's a narrow pathway, in
Yeah.
the stands. People were very, very helpful. The band was up in there, very considerate. I saw, Woonsocket at its best that day.
Great.
Really. And I'm hoping to see that again at Autumn Fest this coming weekend.
Well, let's hope so.
It often does. It often does bring out the best of our local area. So
Mm-hmm.
we're I take pride that something like what happened at Saugus isn't happening here.
Yes, and we have youth football here.
Yeah.
Socket Warriors, and you don't hear about that stuff happening here as well. So
They call
so
them the
that's
Warriors
good.
now. They used to call them the Redskins.
Yep, and guess what happened?
They
with
changed
that?
it. Oh, I didn't catch the memo on that.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, it was okay. Woonsocket Warriors.
Everything,
then.
everything.
I
got-
apologize.
Everything got politically correct.
Well, okay. If it was that important, you'd care. What they call the team is not that important.
Yeah.
I mean, I still have a little resentment in my heart about the Cleveland Indians. Why? I'm here in New England. I'm a Boston Red Sox fan. But there was something about the Cleveland Indians and their history of really being a mediocre to bad baseball team for so many years that kind of endeared them to you, kind of like the Cubs,
Okay.
where you may not be a fan of the team, but you think well of them and your heart goes out to them, and there's a little emotional attachment there. And then when they changed their name from the Indians, I said to myself, I remember watching those movies. What was they call it? Major League?
Yeah.
There was a couple of them.
They were the Indians.
And they had fun, They were out there in the bleachers, sparsely populated with their little tom-tom drums and the teepee and stuff. They had all the vernaculars, all the little slogans and stuff like that, and it was just cute and quirky. And everybody admires somebody that can make fun of themselves a little bit. But it didn't last, and they changed it. I haven't seen them do much better since.
Well, no.
Even Tito couldn't help them.
He's been hired by the Cincinnati Reds now.
I know.
But all it takes is one person to say, I'm offended,
Yeah, I know.
and you need to change it.
I know.
And they're not really, I don't think they're really mad at the name, not the Indian name anyway.
The Indians didn't care.
It's the mascot that they're not happy
Native
with.
Americans didn't care.
And they don't care. They didn't care about the Washington Redskins. In fact, there's a
Right.
growing population of Native Americans that want the Washington Commanders to change back
Yeah.
to the way they were.
Yeah.
And bring back the silhouette, not the silhouette.
The chieftain.
profile.
The chieftain.
That's because that was a real person.
Well, here in Woonsocket, we call it Joe Novin.
the one that was the Redskins had it modeled after was a real chief.
Yeah.
And they want him back.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose that history.
Yeah,
I said,
well,
well, that's pretty
What are you
amazing.
going to do? But so it's a controversy. What are you going to do? But does it really matter what the name of the team is? I don't think so.
A very small minority say yes.
Oh yeah,
And just why-
everybody wants to
But I
rule
d-
the world, Joe.
Well, I know, but it's weird how it just doesn't keep expanding on. Like the Chicago Blackhawks, you never hear anything. You never hear anything boo about that.
Right.
Well, how come you're not all outraged about that team? I don't know.
Got me.
Is it because it's hockey and it's just there's baseball and football and basketball, then there's hockey?
Yeah, right.
I don't know, and I don't think there are any Indian names in the NBA.
Okay.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of any.
No, Atlanta Hawks
No,
comes
it's a
close.
it's a bird.
It's a bird. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take our final break here on the Coffee and program, but more coming up. Stay tuned.
As drivers, we encounter motorcycles on the road every day, and motorcycle safety is a two-way street. So give motorcycles extra space when stopping and starting. Check your mirrors and blind spots. Share the road, but never try and share a lane. Every rider could be a father, a son or a brother, a mother, a daughter or a sister, or the whole world to someone very special. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Police Chiefs Association and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Celebrate St. James, CYO, and Youth Ministry in Manville, Rhode Island. In honor of the parish's 150th anniversary, a CYO and Youth Ministry open house reunion will be held on Sunday, October 27th from 1 to 4 p.m. in the parish gym. Reconnect with friends and relive your favorite memories from sports, dances, plays, singing in the choir, and more. For more information, visit stjamesmanville.org. That's SAINT, jamesmanville.org. Don't miss out. Spread the word and celebrate with us.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Thanks for joining us here on the Coffee and program. Joe Callahan here with Dave Richards. And so today is the first year anniversary of the Hamas attack on Israel. So they decided to have protests yesterday because it was the weekend, and it's much more convenient to have protests on the weekends.
Well,
Dave.
yeah, you get bigger crowds.
You do get bigger crowds.
They don't have to work.
So they were up in Boston yesterday, and always love when they do this. They blocked
they
Storrow
were in
Drive.
Providence, too.
Yeah.
Both
Pro-Palestinian.
sides were in Providence.
Blocked. Were they down at the State House?
One was downtown, one was at the State House.
Okay. So did they block any roads down there in Providence?
It wasn't reported that they
No,
did, but
okay.
they closed down Storrow Drive in Boston, didn't they?
For about a half an hour.
Yeah.
Traffic was
Well,
blocked on Storrow Drive.
That does a lot to get people to agree with you. What kind of
never
moron
happens.
does
Yeah,
that?
I know.
Antagonizes people who could join their way of thinking and agree with them, and antagonize them by disrupting their lives and taking over a public thoroughfare. Where is the common sense in that? We're having a protest because we're displeased, and we want the government officials to know we're displeased. So we're going to go and antagonize people who might agree with us, and
Yes.
and scare them away with a stick.
Because we want
Or a traffic jam?
We need more attention.
Well,
We need media
that's-
attention
That's
to
stupidity.
our cause.
That's stupidity.
It's done all the time, though.
It's there are stupid things being done all the time, Joe. That's all I
Yeah.
can tell you. In Providence, much more civil. Okay, all the folks supporting Israel, you're over at the State
here,
House.
yeah.
All the people supporting Palestine, you're downtown because you supported. You're affiliated with a group at Brown. I'm sure that Brown isn't espousing
No,
that group,
but the students
they're
are.
associated because that's where the students of the core group
Yeah.
are. So much more civil in Providence, and they still made the news.
Yeah.
You see, they didn't have to. Oh, geez, we should shut down a major artery, causing all kinds of problems for people who might have even agreed with them, and now they're ticked off at them. Way to erode support. My
Oh,
goodness.
sure.
Besides, I look at it and I'll say something that somebody's going to disagree with because I know you need me to. What the heck? I'm looking at it and saying it's very difficult for you to look at the Israeli government and say, "Oh, now, don't go beating them up. You know, don't, you big bully, you're beating up on Palestinians. They got a righteous cause over here." But you got to remember,
They attacked us first.
right? They're sitting there using diplomacy and détente and trying to keep a lid on everything, and then a terror attack, 1,000 people, your citizens are dead. What do you expect them to do?
And taken hostage, too.
Right? What do you expect
I
them
know.
to do? Now, you can argue all day long, well, you should have restraint. You're the bigger. You should, be magnanimous. I've heard those arguments, Joe, and I don't understand how someone, well, let's back up two feet. I understand how someone can think that, but I don't understand how someone can expect that.
Well, the way they're thinking, the way I understand it, is, well, we don't like the way Israel's been treating us for quite a while now,
Right.
and we're retaliating now against them.
Right.
So that's the thinking.
Right.
So I don't know. So, but it is
Just
a
keep
today's
just
1-year
keep
anniversary.
going. That's how
Yeah.
the wars go. You just
Yep.
keep on going and going. Nobody forgives nobody. Nobody sees fires. Nobody, it's constant. And they say, well, you shouldn't have ever made Israel in the first place. Well, you
Oh,
can
well,
argue that all you want, but the genie's out of the bottle.
On that one, yeah.
The question is, what do you do today about it? Do you make nice and try to, live with your neighbors, or do you not? No, as long as you're going to hold a grudge, it's never going to end. And that's just how it is with humanity. As long as you're going to hold a grudge, the war will never end.
All right, back here in New England, and this is some things just take on a life of their own. And this beaver in Massachusetts,
Oh, God.
the story just keeps
The
going
governor
on
got
and on.
involved
Now
Friday.
the governor had to give it clemency because
Kind of, yeah.
NIBI, N-I-B-I, the beaver that's been raised by a rescue group for the last 2 years after it was found abandoned. The state wildlife says the beaver should be released into the wild, but the shelter said if we do that, the beaver's just going to die. It'll never survive.
Of course. That's a cruelty.
So now the governor, Maura Healey, she issued a special permit. It's going to allow NIBI to remain at the Newhouse Wildlife Rescue, I guess that's in Chelmsford, as
Yeah.
an educational mascot. So, okay, if they want to take care of it at the...
So she overruled the state agency that says
that she
our rules
anyway.
are...
Yeah. So
Once the animal is not in danger anymore, it's returned to where you found it. And they said it was 2 weeks old.
Yeah.
Where we found it, it didn't even learn
Anything, yeah.
any survival skills, and it won't survive.
And now that we've been feeding it, yeah,
Right.
it's not going to know what to do. All right, other things going on. I found that this is it's an A for effort, Dave.
Okay.
It's against the law, but it is an A for effort. It was a nice try, but you caught 6 people face charges, including grand larceny and identity theft for allegedly stealing a very large check from the Bazooka Bubblegum Company.
Wow.
I used to like Bazooka Joe when I
Oh,
when I was
yeah.
younger.
We
the
all had it.
Bazooka gum.
All
right.
Comics were particularly
Oh yeah,
interesting.
it's you got one in every little piece.
Yeah.
So the Manhattan District Attorney says 31-year-old Kashawn Williams got his hands on a $1.2 million check that had been sent to Bazooka at one of their former addresses
Okay.
in Manhattan. So Williams decides, here's your A for effort. I can't just go cash it because it doesn't have my name on it.
Oh.
So he allegedly opened a
How
fake.
clever is he?
He opened a fake business bank account
Right.
and called it the Bazooka Company's One, and used the account to and then was able to deposit the money,
Right.
and then withdraw the money, and he used the account to distribute the money to himself and 5 others.
Okay.
They were all allegedly all in on it. Mm-hmm. The bubblegum company, which is now known as Bazooka Candy Brands, was founded in Brooklyn. It is now based in the UK, according to its website. But they found out about it. Hey, that's our money. Mm-hmm. And they started the whole thing rolling, and Mr. Williams got caught.
And now what?
Well, they're facing grand larceny charges.
I bet.
He's looking at some prison time.
Oh,
and you're gonna probably got to give the money back, of which he's probably already spent it.
I'd probably take the
Some
bubble
of
gum
it.
away too.
Yeah. So it was a good try. He did some thinking on this. I can't just sign my name to it and say, "Can I have the money?" No, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try doing it this way. I'll pretend I'm Mr. Bazooka, and I'm opening up my.
It's the
company.
wrong line of thinking.
Well, yes, because he got caught.
No, because it was wrong and it took
Well,
something
yeah.
that wasn't his. That's why. Getting caught is ancillary. That's karma for doing the wrong thing. It's not wrong because you got caught. It's wrong because it was wrong.
Okay. So we had one of those
Do
deals.
we have to go to Sunday school here, Joe?
Well, maybe they do. I don't know. You always hear every now and again. Has there ever been a time where someone else has had a non-pilot has had to land a plane?
Oh, yeah. It's been on TV hundreds of times.
So it's happened again. A passenger landed a small plane on Friday after the pilot had a medical emergency.
Right.
The aircraft was traveling with a pilot and one other person on board from Henderson Airport, Henderson Executive Airport. Executive Airport. I didn't know it was
Right.
called that.
That's outside of Las Vegas,
In
if I
Vegas,
recall.
yeah. And they were heading to Monterey Regional Airport in California.
Well, that's just south of San Francisco. Gorgeous airport, by the way. I've flown to that.
The passenger was compelled to take control after the pilot had a medical emergency while flying and made an emergency landing at Meadows Field Airport in Bakersfield, California.
Probably easier because Monterey's got a lot of hills and mountains
Yeah.
around it, plus the
Lot of-
water.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Right
so,
on the
it would have been a little bit more risky. If you went to Bakersfield, that's a bit more, well, you got to come in over the hills, but it's a wide area that's flat.
The identities of the passenger and the pilot were not released, and an update on the pilot's health status was not given. So, but he was able to pull it off.
Well, yeah. And I'd like to think I could do that. I took a few lessons with Savvy Ludovici before he passed on. I always fancied flying an aircraft, but didn't have the money or time to engage in it full force. But yeah, it's pretty simple. He taught you the simple matters of what's going on. There's two things. You got to keep the air moving underneath the wing. He said, I don't care what's going over the wing. Worry about what's going underneath the wing. So you make sure that the bottom of your wing is got air underneath it, and if you drop the tail down, more air is underneath, and it pushes up on the plane. And if you give it more power on the engine, it's going to help you climb. And if you're coming back down, make sure the engine doesn't stall and make sure it's running at a certain speed so that you can hit the ground. He says, now, if you hit the ground too slow, you ain't going to land. You're going to crash. So make sure you're going fast enough. Don't be a scaredy cat. You might be going 80 miles an hour and saying, oh, we're all going to die if we crash. Well, listen, you're all going to crash if you don't go at least 80 miles an hour in this particular aircraft he had me in. So, yeah, right. That's the deal. And so you can do it. And there's a book in there that's going to tell you what to do. And then if you get on the radio, an average human being of average intelligence can land an aircraft.
Well, this is one of those small, 2-seater or 4-seater jobs.
Sure, like a Cessna or a
The
Piper
thing
or
with
something.
with the big jet airliners, there's actually never been a case of a non-pilot landing the plane, because they always have a pilot and a co-pilot, and usually somebody else.
And a computer.
You're right. But one time, I don't know if you remember the show Mythbusters. They tried it with two of them.
I didn't see that episode.
And you get into a simulator.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and we're gonna have someone try to talk you down, and these try to do it, and both of them couldn't do it.
And you know
and they
why?
both crashed the airline.
And you know why? Savvy Ludovici, a lot of the older folks are going to remember that name. Newer people won't know who I'm talking about. He was an old barnstorming aviation ace, and he ran the Woonsocket Airport, which up until the early 1960s was up where that whole Furlan development is. Basically on the south side of Diamond Hill Road from where the fire was last night. But he told me, he says, you know what the most important human organ is in your entire body when you're flying an aircraft?
Your brain?
No. I said, your brain? No. He says, your eyes? No. your hands, all listening for the sound of the engine. No, 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 no. He says your rear end. He says because it's going to tell you whether you're upside down, right side up, climbing, or dropping down. He says just pay attention to your rear end, to your butt cheeks. He says, and you'll know what. In a simulator, you don't get that feedback. And that's why I've crashed the simulator over and over again.
You don't have that feeling. Okay.
Right.
All right. So we're running out of time here on the old program
No
here.
kidding.
Yes, we have. We thank you very much for listening in. As
Is Leslie in the
always,
house?
I believe she'll be here momentarily.
Cool.
Leslie Page with At the Library, and then Food
She'll
First
be on
with
tape
Karen
next week,
Zangari.
right?
Yes. Is coming up next, and we have the Woonsocket City Council meeting tonight at 6.
You bet.
Right here on ON Radio. Dave, thanks for coming in.
Hey, it's a pleasure, Joe. We'll see you tomorrow morning on the Morning Fun Show.
Yes, with me, getting up with Joe and Dave.
Yes, and Dave and Joe.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Channel 10 TV news reports fire crews from Woonsocket and multiple communities